expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Testimonial Monday, and our topic for today is a survivor's testimony. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from Roman with the Drive at 5. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. If you missed the last show, we talked about issues plaguing couples. And you can go to Intellectual Radio on YouTube to catch up on all the shows that you may have missed live. The quote of the day is, you can only be a victim of cancer or a survivor. It's all about the mindset. We are grateful for our sponsors on today. We have Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay, Paula Kelly with Allstate, and Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emanuel Church of God in Christ, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emanuel Cogic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emanuel Cogic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we are from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Awesome. Make sure that you catch them every Sunday morning. Here are your trending topics for today. Confusion and complacency in addressing COVID-19 means the pandemic is no longer short from being over, but it can be brought under control with proven public health measures, according to the director of the World Health Organization. So far, 780 million vaccines have been administered globally, but measuring, including wearing masks and maintaining social distancing, must be applied to reverse the trajectory. Also trending, the world is mourning another great loss in hip hop. Friday, we lost rapper and actor DMX at the age of 50 after being hospitalized for a heart attack. So rest in power. Those are your trending topics for today. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, do me a favor, like, share the show, invite somebody else in on the show so that they can get this powerful information. My special guest today is a two-time cancer survivor, entrepreneur, and a cancer advocate. Welcome to Warriors Talk, Loretta Pinkerton. Hello, Loretta.
Hi, hello. Thank you so much. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to share my story with other women who may be impacted by this terrible disease.
Yes.
But my goal today is to just let women know, women and men know, that cancer does not mean a death sentence. It's not a death sentence.
Awesome. I'm so excited.
There is hope. There is hope.
There is hope, and your testimony is going to do just that. So I'm really excited. I want everybody, if you know someone who has been touched by cancer, make sure that you share this information with them if they are going through cancer right now, or even if they are a survivor of cancer. They're going to learn something today. So Loretta, what I want you to do is take us on your journey of how you were actually diagnosed with cancer.
Okay, so never in a million years did I ever think that I would be a cancer survivor. I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor, and I was first diagnosed at the age of 34 in November of 2009. I was working in the medical field. I have been working in the medical field for a long time. With the goals of becoming a nurse, a RN, but at the time I was working as a dialysis technician. I was diagnosed in 2009. It was right like a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And what happened was I actually noticed the lump in my left breast. And, you know, because when you go to the doctor, you know, they always tell you to do a self, you know, you'll see those templates on how to do a self breast exam at home. So once I, you know, learned how to do that, I would check my breast regularly, you know, like maybe every 2 months or whatever. Or if I'm just laying down, you know, I would just go ahead and just do a breast exam. But one particular day I was doing the exam and I felt something and I was like, wow, what is this? And so, you know, I was kind of scared. You know, I did hesitate a little bit. I didn't let my doctor know until like a couple of months later. I had called, spoke with my doctor, and I told her that, you know, I felt a lump in my breast, and she told me to come in, and she did an examination, and so she felt it just as well. And so she said, well, I'm going to schedule you to have a mammogram. So I had the mammogram. And they saw something, but, you know, after the mammogram, when they see something, they have you to do a diagnostic mammogram. So I had the diagnostic mammogram, and of course, they saw something. So they told me that it could be maybe a cyst, it could be dense tissue, you know, but they wanted to do a biopsy. So, you know, you know, when you hear all of these things, it's like your mind is just blank because you can't think about anything else because you're scared. You're like, Lord, what am I going to do if I have breast cancer? Everything else, whatever you were thinking about just goes out of the door. You're like in space. So I wind up having the biopsy like, I want to say 3 to 4 days before Thanksgiving. And so when I got my results, it was after Thanksgiving, but I remember standing in my kitchen, I'm washing my dishes, and I get a call from the doctor that performed the biopsy. And when she called me and she said, Loretta, where are you at? I said, I'm at home. I'm in my kitchen. She said, I need you to sit down. And that's when she told me, I wasn't sitting down, I was standing up, and I was like, okay, just give it to me. And she was like, it's breast cancer. And I could just remember just dropping the plate that I had in my hand. And I was like, it was like my heart dropped. All I could think about is, what am I going to do? Like, you know, she was telling me, we're going to, your doctor will be contacting you. And she was, you know, telling me, you know, think it's going to be okay because we think it's at a very early stage. It's at a very early stage. And she was like, your doctor will schedule an appointment with you to have a lumpectomy. You know, she was just trying to explain some things to me. But all I could hear was blah, 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 blah. And so after Thanksgiving, when after the holiday, I went back to work, and of course, I like I said, I worked in the medical field, and I'm telling the nurses and you know, telling my supervisor that I need to go on medical leave because I have been diagnosed with breast cancer and that I have to have surgery. So, you know, I had to fast forward things. I had a lumpectomy, and a couple of months later, I started doing radiation treatments. The radiation treatments was like, if I can remember, I think they were like, I went in like maybe 3 to 4 days a week where they target the area. After radiation, I received a certificate when I completed radiation. And after that, they were telling me that I would have to go on a hormone therapy drug, which was like chemo in a pill, which was tamoxifen. So fast forwarding, you know, some years later, which was in 2005, you know, I'm back at work and you know, it's time for me to, because every year after you're diagnosed, every year they want you to have a mammogram. They told me I was so lucky because, you know, women, they say the age of getting a mammogram is 40 years old. I was 34 when I was diagnosed. And in 2000, fast forwarding again, in 2005, it was time for me to get a mammogram. Now it's going on, 2015, I'm sorry. It was 2015. It was going on 6 years. And it was time for me to get a mammogram. I got the mammogram and they told me that it looks like it's trying to come back. So now I'm like right where I started at again. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I'm fighting. I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to live stress-free. And here it comes again. So I spoke with my doctor and he told me that, first of all, I was at Ingalls Hospital in Harvey, and they gave me a medical team. I met with the medical team, a nurse navigator. I can't remember her name, but she was very, very helpful. She gave me the option to have the surgery. This time, me and my doctor had decided that I would just go ahead and get a double mastectomy. I'm like, you know what? Let me just get both breasts. The breast tissue gone. I need all the breast tissue gone. So I decided to get a double mastectomy, and I was going to do chemo this time because the first time we did a BRCA test, and it showed that it was kind of slim, that it would come back. But after, it was coming back, I decided to just go ahead and get the double mastectomy and to follow up behind that with expanders, which would be like breast implants to get me prepared for breast implants and to do chemo.
I have a question,
So,
Loretta. I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a history in your family of any type of cancer?
My grandmother, my mother's mom passed from bone cancer.
And so that's the only person you know.
That's the only thing. None of my my aunt on my father's side, she had cervical cancer. But this was she was diagnosed right after I was diagnosed, like some years later.
Okay. So when you took the BRCA test, did they say that it was a hereditary link?
No.
Okay.
No, they didn't say it was hereditary.
And did you ask your doctor where the cancer could have possibly come from?
Yeah, I did. And he said that it could come from quite a few things, lack of nutrition. After my second diagnosis, I started doing my own research. Nutrition is very important. Nutrition is the key. He said it could be quite a few things. It could be, lack of nutrition. It could be stress related. It could be, a numerous amount of things why your cells would mutate, because cancer comes from your cells. Your cells are supposed to regenerate, if your cells are not regenerating and they mutate, that's when cancer, it turns into cancer.
Okay, I just asking that question because I know some people may say, oh, well, I took the BRCA test and they said that there was no hereditary link, but I still ended up getting cancer. And then there's other people in the family that's getting cancer. Some doctors would tell you they don't know. But I know a lot of women I have spoken to, they had some type of stress-related trauma going on, like right before they were diagnosed. That's why I asked you that question.
Yes, and that's what he said. It could be stress-related. It could be stress. And that's why when I share my story, I try to tell women and men, if you can live a stress-free life. Now, of course, I know we live in a world where life is hard, just in general. But it's not what you do. It's how you handle the situation. How you, like you say, it's a mind thing. So it's how you look at the outcome. I try not to worry about things that I have no control over anymore. I've never been a confrontational person, but when I feel like it's going in that direction, if I don't have any control over whatever is going on, I step back. I try not to worry about, I put my trust in God's hands. I give it to him. I'm not going to say that I don't worry about it. I might worry about it just a little bit. And then I just say, you know what, Lord, I'm going to give this to you because there's nothing I can do about it. And when I was re-diagnosed the second time, I said, you know what, Lord, whatever the outcome may be, I'm going to put it, I trust you. I'm going to put it in your hands. Because if I die from cancer, I'm going to be with you. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. If I live on this earth, you can use me as a vessel. If I'm in heaven with you, I'm going to be okay. So whatever the outcome is, I give it to you because I'm not in control. And that's how I look at things now. If I have no control, I pray about it and I try to give it to God. Now, faith without works is dead. I try to do what I can do to change the situation. And if I cannot change, if I can no longer, if it's out of my hands, I just give it to God. That's all I can do.
I think some people don't realize that even though you pray and you ask God to heal you, you still have to do some things. There's some actions that you have to take to coincide with that. So that was
absolutely,
yeah, that was some good information. Rizal,
and what
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was going to say, I started changing my eating habits. I started, trying to exercise more. I walk in the summertime. One thing that I want people to know is that, because I worked in the medical field, and after chemo, oh my gosh, I can no longer do hard labor work anymore because there are side effects from the chemo. There are side effects from the chemo. And one thing, after me finishing my chemo, I developed neuropathy in my feet. I developed short-term memory loss. I developed arthritis in my back and my knees. I developed insomnia. And so there's, chemo does help. I'm sorry if you hear my iPad going off. I'm sorry. But chemo does help, but there are side effects, and they call them secondary side effects from the chemo.
Yeah.
So, you have to do your research. You have to do what works for you. And what works for me now is me just waking up every morning and just starting appreciating the things that we think are the little things, like just appreciating breathing fresh air, going outside for a walk, to just clear my mind, to meditate, to try to eat healthier, to eliminate sugar, because sugar is the killer. Sugar is a silent killer. And that's one thing that I learned by, doing my research is that sugar is a silent killer, and certain foods turn into sugar. So, I just started doing some research on my own to see how can I prevent cancer from coming back.
Well, you talked about exercising, eating healthy, and stress, staying away from stress. Those three things right there alone will be a big help as it relates to cancer. Just, learning how to say no, removing yourself from certain situations if it's stressful, and changing your diet. You don't have to do it overnight, but just, make it a lifestyle as it relates to how you eat. And we don't realize how much exercise really plays a role in just being healthy, not just for cancer, but other diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, like a lot of different diseases that people have. They can manage them better if they do those things, if they eat right, stay away from stress, and exercise. And you can also prevent those diseases too from doing those things. So it's all about taking control of what we can control.
That's right. Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to tell the audience that you have to take control over your life. You have to change what you were doing before. Like you said, it's a lifestyle. And one thing, I'm glad you mentioned that, I had to learn how to say no. I was always the yes person. People would ask me, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Do this for me. Do that. I was the yes man. And after cancer, it made me realize I have to say no, because I'm over here running around taking care of everybody's business, and it was stressing me out. It was stressing me out because everybody knew, oh, she's going to say yes. I'll ask Loretta. I'll ask Retta. That's my nickname. And like you said, learning how to say no. No. Take control over your life. You have to change things. You have to take control and make a change in your life, because if you don't, life will take charge over you and you will be stressed out. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
That's absolutely true. Loretta, did your faith go to a new level when you were diagnosed between the first time and the second time?
Yes. Well, first of all, I am a spiritual and I'm a Christian. I go to church. I can't wait till COVID is over with, because I miss my church. But I reside at my church family is the Salem Baptist Church of Chicago, which is the House of Hope, Reverend James T. Meeks. And you have to have a support system when you're going through cancer just as well. It's so much easier when you have a support system. My family, I thank my family and my friends for just totally being there. And also my second family, which is my church family. I had people from my choir just praying for me. And when I had surgeries, because I had to have several breast reconstructive surgeries. I had my choir that was praying for me. I had choir members that would come and visit me. They would bring me things such as soup. They would bring me pillows, and then even with me, between me working and being on medical leave, when you go on medical leave, I had to, because I always had insurance with my job. But guess what? My life, my things changed where I had to go on the state medical public aid. I had to get a medical card, and the insurance with the insurance industry, the insurance changed every year. It was a different insurance. So I had one period of time where my medication was not covered from my insurance, because my insurance, I was between different insurance. And I couldn't afford my medication because I'm on medical leave and I'm not getting I no longer have the medical insurance through my job, but I had to rely on the government medical insurance. And because they changed the insurance every year, at some point, my medication was not covered. And so when I was just relaying that to one of my choir members, I shared it with her and she shared it with my choir family. And one Sunday they prayed for me. And oh my gosh, we were about to go on stage to minister because I'm in a choir. And oh my gosh, my choir family blessed me. They just walked up to me after they prayed for me, and just people were just handing me money. And when after service was over, I remember counting the money, and I had like $600. And so I was able to pay for my medication, but you need a support system. You really find out who's there, who your true friends are, and who is going to be there when you're in the midst of a storm.
Ooh,
you find out who's going to be there when your back is against the wall. Them are your true friends.
That is so true. Rizal says, oh my God, everyone's story is almost the same when it relates to Big Pharma and the insurance company. Ooh, we know that cancer is a moneymaker. Let me tell you this. It's a money maker. They're not looking for a cure, because if they do, they're going to lose out on a lot of money. So they'll put a Band-Aid on it and they'll treat you. But as far as finding a cure, we should have had one by now. And I know, let me just say, I know that it's a lot of different forms of cancer. So cancer is not just one disease. Let me just say that. Cancer is a lot of different forms of cancer. So when you talk about finding a cure, you have to find one for each of the different diseases because they have their own genetics. So let me just say that. But it's a money thing. It's all about money. And when you have someone that, okay, I'm not working, I have to take medical leave. So you expect that state insurance to kick in and cover everything. I should not have to come out of my pocket. That should be the last thing that I'm worried about is financial, how I'm going to take care of financial things or even getting the medicine that I need to fight this disease that I did not ask for. Like you should not have to. That's the last thing that you should be thinking about. But we're grateful for those support systems that they step in and they cover what the state or our insurance do not cover. So I'm grateful for these organizations out here that do that, as well as the support systems.
Yeah. And I want to share also, because when I shared that the secondary side effects that I now have, I could no longer work in a medical field, hard labor work. So I kept praying to God, like, God, please give me direction. What am I going to do? I'm praying for something. I always loved the beauty industry, but because I'm a licensed cosmetologist, but I cannot stand on my feet all day anymore. And so also I worked as a dialysis technician. So I knew that when after the second time, remember I said I was pursuing nursing. I knew I cannot be a nurse now. So Lord, what can I do that will give me the opportunity to still help people? Because I love people and I want to help people. And so one day, a woman in my choir by the name of Arlene Stovall, she's a Mary Kay representative, independent consultant. And so every year, Mary Kay donates, raise money. They donate money and they also raise money and they donate products for cancer survivors. And I remember still going through my chemo treatment. Chemo just sucks all the moisture out of your body. And I remember just looking for stuff that I can use that will keep my body moisturized, because at that point you lose your hair, you lose your fingernails, you lose your toenails, and all of that was happening to me. And I remember Arlene reaching out to me, telling me that she had a basket for me. And so it was a Mary Kay basket, and it had products like it had the emollient cream, and it had a hydrating lotion, and it had the satin lip set, and it had a card in it, and stuff to use for the Time-Wise 3D. And I knew of Mary Kay, but I didn't use the product. And so when she gave me that basket and I started using those products, oh my gosh, those products really helped me, really helped my skin to put that moisture, lock that moisture back in my skin. My lips were dry. My everything I used, I just was dry. My hands was dry. My nails was brittle. And so when she gave me that basket and I started using it, and so I fell in love I was introduced to the product, and I fell in love with the product. And because I was in chemotherapy from 2016 to the end of 2016, I think I remember September, the end of 2016 was my last chemo treatment. And I do remember it. I was on long-term disability with my job. And I remember my claims manager with long-term disability called me in the middle of treatment and said, Loretta, I want to give you, I have to call you and tell you that they're cutting you off of long-term disability. This will be your last check. And I'm saying to myself, oh my gosh, like, how could they do this to me? I'm still, I didn't develop, my feet are hurting. I can't sleep. I have all these secondary side effects. What am I going to do? And so I remember in me going back to work in 2017. I started looking for work because, you know, my job had let me go because they said I extended my long-term, you know, my leave. And so I went back to work in 2017 and just walking the floors, it was like pins and needles was in my feet. And I developed autoimmune disease where I was allergic to my own sweat. It was really difficult for me in the summertime because it was really hot. And when I would start to sweat, I would start itching and scratching myself. I would have to stay in a fan. I kept my air on blast in my apartment all summer long. Even going to my car, I would have to turn because I have a starter remote on my car, I would have to start my car up and turn the air on and let the air just, you know, circulate in my car before I jumped in my car. That lasted for about 8 months. So when I was working, I had to tell my boss, like, you know, this is what's going on. I'm having anxiety attacks because I'm itching, I'm scratching. My back is hurting. I feel like I tried all different pair of shoes, nothing worked for me. And I'm like, what is going on with my body? And so I found out that those was the side effects from me doing the chemo. And so going back to Mary Kay, my friend Arlene asked me, did I want to start my own business with Mary Kay? And she mentioned to me, you know, you could have been praying for something, and maybe this is something that you've been praying for. And so I started my Mary Kay business, and that's what I do now. I'm an independent Mary Kay consultant. I absolutely love what I do. And with Mary Kay, it gives me the opportunity to still help people, to teach women how to take care of their skin, and share my testimony with women, how I am a breast cancer survivor ×2, and that I could no longer work doing hard labor work in the medical field, but I can still make some money and have the flexibility to do so. I can work when I want to work. I can work from my apartment. All I have to do is choose certain days that I want to work. I don't have to do my work Mary Kay every day, but I get to pick and choose what days I want to deliver products, what days I want to make phone calls. And since COVID, I can even do my job virtually. I don't have to go anywhere. And so I'm so happy for Mary Kay, because not only does Mary Kay support cancer survivors, you know, they donate so many millions of dollars for cancer research. And what you said was, even after all of this money that all of these people are donating, we still don't have a cure. We still don't have the cure. But with my job, I love, it was the answer to my prayers, because it's a sisterhood and a brotherhood that allows me to take charge over my life. And our philosophy is faith first, family second, and career third. And where can you go and work and your faith and your family comes first? So I thank God for sending Arlene to invite me to join the Mary Kay family and to take charge over my life, where I get to be flexible and work the days and hours I want to work.
And so many survivors we know may be out of work, may not even have, even thought about, oh, maybe I can do this. So there's so many things out here that, you can do as a survivor when you are not able to work anymore. Some people are stressed out just thinking about, where am I going to get the money from, or the money's coming in. It's not even enough, because they may have went down to a part-time job. So
yeah.
There's some things that you can do. Mary Kay, if you want to work it full-time, if you want to work it part-time, it's totally up to you on how you want to do it. So there's an option out there for individuals who no longer can work, especially if you're standing up. If you're doing hair and you got to stand on your feet, or if you're in the medical field and you got to be on the go all the time, seeing patients, and it gets to be overwhelming. So
yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I do remember when I went back to work, I started full time, but I had to go down to part time because I could no longer stand on my feet. And I still I wind up going on medical leave again because the stress of the job and the hard labor was too much for my body.
Wow. If you are just tuning in, we are live on Intellectual Radio, and the topic for today is a survivor's testimony. And we're talking to Loretta Pinkerton, and she is a two-time cancer survivor. And she is giving us information on not just about her cancer journey, but also about how she had to stop working because of the side effects from the chemo. And sometimes the side effects don't come right away. Sometimes they may come a year or two after that, and you all of a sudden you're like, okay, what's going on? And it's the residue from the chemo.
Yes, yes. And I want people to feel, I want the listeners to know that when life obstacles knock you down, you should turn your pain into passion. What are your dreams? What are your dreams? When life knocks you down, turn your lemon into lemonade. Turn your fears into faith. You have to realize what is God trying to tell you. There's a reason for everything. And let him use you. He's trying, you're going through something, but trust me, it's a pot of gold behind that rainbow. He's trying to tell you something for you to, because I never would have left that job. I never would have left that job. But because of my pain, it turned into passion. And that's to help other breast cancer survivors. Now my passion is to share my journey. And now I can work at the same time and share my testimony and help other women. Also what I'm doing for spring, I'm giving free makeovers to not only cancer survivors, but just women in general, because I know how it felt when I lost my hair. I lost my eyebrows. I lost my eyelashes. And guess what? My eyebrows, you can't see them. So I had to learn how to draw on my eyebrows. I lost my eyebrows. And now, like, when people see me when I draw them on, they be like, oh my gosh, you did that yourself? Yes, I did. I had to learn how to draw my own eyebrows on. My eyelashes, I have them, but they're very thin. So I want to be that person. If women are feeling self-confident and they, I used to look like this, give me a call. Call me. Reach out to one of my pages. Reach out on my Facebook. Contact me through my Facebook page. Contact me through my Instagram. I'm the person that I would love. It would be my pleasure just to give you a free makeover.
You would be surprised on what type of boost that would give to someone who just feel like they have lost everything. So if you don't know what that feels like, when you losing parts of your body that you was born with, and then all of a sudden, okay, I don't have these things anymore. And they talk about getting used to your new normal, but it's like, how can I get used to this new normal when I don't have everything that I was born with? And so now you feel like you're handicapped in a way, especially when you're getting body parts cut off. It's feel like you having something amputated. And even though, you get the surgery to where you get the reconstructive surgery, some women still feel a certain way, even with those.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, even I'm still having reconstructive surgery. My breast, I'm about to get the nipple tattooing done. But I've had at least about 4 reconstructive surgeries on my breast. They look pretty good. I'm satisfied with them. But I just need to have the nipple, 3D nipple tattooing done. But, I know I've been there. I've been that person that looked in the mirror and said, oh my gosh, I don't look the same. I don't feel confident about myself. But I had to regain that confidence back, because it broke me, but it didn't kill me. I was bruised, but like the Bible say, he was bruised, but you're bruised, but you're not broken. I'm bruised. And guess what? You know, I'm still here and I'm still pushing. And, you know, if I can help say something to help motivate somebody else, then that's what I need to do. But I'm still here. And as long as I'm still here and I'm surviving it and I'm a warrior, it's my pleasure to encourage another and empower another woman or man who might be dealing with cancer.
I totally agree. It's like God did not allow you to go through this to keep it to yourself, to keep your mouth closed. There's somebody else out there that needs hope. They need to hear how you overcame. So I commend you for, you know, sharing your stories. A lot of people go through it and they haven't gotten to that point to where they can start sharing it to where it's not so emotional for them. But sometimes when you share it, it gives you it's like a healing for you. Each time you share your story, every time you share it, it's healing for you. And somebody else needs to hear it. So Loretta, I wanted to know, what was a defining point in your journey, in your cancer journey?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
What was a defining moment in your cancer journey?
You know, because like for the first few years, I was just hiding. And I remember my daughter telling me, because when I lost my hair, I was wearing wigs and, you know, and I had the bad hot flashes and everything. And my daughter told me, Ma, she said, you're beautiful. You're still here and you're beautiful. And she was like, you can help women. You can help women that's going, you know, when she started seeing my confidence coming back, she said, Ma, you should help other women. You should help other women and share your testimony. And I remember I was talking to one of my aunts. She's a breast cancer survivor, but she's my aunt through marriage. And I never knew she was a breast cancer survivor. And one day she was talking to me and she shared her story. And she said, if you were not diagnosed with breast cancer, I never would. She never shared her story with no one else, but only the selected few that knew what she was going through. And when she said that, she said, you know, back then, women didn't really share what they was going through if they were a breast cancer survivor. And I said, you know what? I said, I have to share my story. Other women need to hear that they're not alone, because not only back then, it was just certain, you know, just very few women that were diagnosed. It wasn't really big, but now when everywhere you turn is somebody being diagnosed with breast cancer. And women need to hear that there's hope. There's hope. And that when me having that conversation with my daughter and my aunt, I say, you know what, I need to stand up and I need to share what I'm going through. People need to hear this. Because, and I had, you know, a choir member who shared her testimony with me when she found out I was diagnosed. So we have to pay it forward and share our journey with others, because when a woman or a man first hear that they have cancer, people, you know, the first thing they think of is, Lord, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. And cancer, being diagnosed with cancer does not mean that you're gonna die from cancer. It's not a death sentence, and people need to hear that you can fight. Just fight it, and just take control of your life and change some of your habits, change some of your ways. Sit down and reevaluate what you were doing, and come up with some type of when you're talking to your doctor, come up with some type of solution or some type of treatment. And when your doctor is giving you some type of treatment, you give yourself some type of regimen some type of program that you can follow, such as eating healthy and exercising more and just trying to live stress-free. You have to take charge of that just as well. Your doctors can come up with a treatment for you, but what are you going to do when you get home? What are you going to change?
You should come out different. You should come out different going through a cancer journey. There's no way that you should be operating the same. No way. No way. Loretta,
Absolutely.
I wanted to know, what does survivorship looks like for you or to you?
A warrior. I feel like I came out. I learned more about myself. I got a chance. I reevaluated myself, and I learned more. I know what I want and what I don't want anymore. So me going through my journey, it taught me things about. It taught me how strong I could be, leaning on the Lord, because it's not my strength, it's the strength of the Lord. I learned to lean on God more. Survivorship to me means coming out strong, sharing, not hiding it, but sharing your journey. Share your journey, because we have to be the vessels for God. So when you go through something and you share your journey, you're helping somebody else make it through theirs. That's what survivorship means to me.
Awesome. So what I want you to do is to give everybody some contact information on how they can follow you, and how they can also get more information about your business.
You can follow me on Facebook at Loretta Mary Kay Beauty Bar. That's my Mary Kay page. My regular Facebook page is Lovely Retta. And my Instagram is Loretta _ Mary Kay _ Beauty Bar.
Awesome. So if you could give someone some information or advice about cancer, what would it be?
It would be to, and I know I keep saying the same thing. It would be to sit down and evaluate how you're going to take charge to fight. And that could be, if you want to start meditating, you should start meditating. That would be like what we agreed on, learning how to say no. That would be to exercise more. And also that would do your research. Research what superfoods you should eat to help fight the cancer, to help strengthen your immune system, because cancer means a weak immune system.
Yes, something happened for your immune system to be weakened. So you have to find out what that is. And
absolutely,
trust me, we have so many foods out here. If you just look up on the internet, what foods that would boost the immune system, you would be surprised. And these are things that you can incorporate in your diet every single day.
Every single day, you can do your blueberries, you can do your strawberries, your blackberries, you can do your superfoods, your kale, you can do your spinach, you can do your wheatgrass. I drink more smoothies. I cut my sugar. I pick and choose what sugars I'm going to eat, because when I tell you before cancer, all I ate was sweet. I'm just eating sweet. And now I pick and choose. I know that pasta turns into sugar, so I don't eat pasta like that anymore. And I try to control my stress level.
So you have those three things: stress, exercise, and watch what you eat. I mean, take control. Those are things that you have control over before you even go to the doctor. You can incorporate those things into your life. They say 30 minutes for 4 to 5 days a week. That's all that you need. They're not asking you to get in the gym and exercise for an hour. You don't really have to go to the gym. You can turn your TV on and you can go to YouTube, and whatever type of exercise that you want to get, you just tell it what you want to do. And trust me, you can do it out of the comfort of your own home. It's all about us taking control and taking action before we even step into the doctor's office. It's really in our hands.
And they say the first 15 minutes of working out, you're burning sugar. So that's good.
No,
That's
yes.
good to know. Like you
That's good
said,
to
30
know.
minutes a day.
Yes.
30 minutes a day is all you need. We have access to everything. You can do everything at home. You can meditate at home. You can I have insomnia. So what I do is I go to YouTube and I type in white noise. I take me a cup of melatonin and I listen to the fan and I go to sleep.
We really have no excuse. We have no excuse. It's about being disciplined. It's about being disciplined and thinking about the quality of life that you want to have, not for right now, but for years to come. So think about that. Loretta, I am so excited that you have shared your journey today. Thank you so much for being brave and vulnerable. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Like I said, it's such an honor to be able to share my story. And so thank you very much. Thank you. And if there's anything that you need my help with, please feel free to contact me. I'm available.
I will do that. Do you have any last parting words of wisdom? Because you dropped a lot of gems. So I like that one. I like that one.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said you dropped a lot of gems already. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Like I said, if I repeat anything, I would say turn your pain into passion and turn your fears into faith. Because God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all we can ask and think. And you better get you some scriptures. When a storm comes your way, you better get you some scriptures, learn some scriptures and recite those scriptures and feed your spirit.
Yes. Give God back his words. Those are his words. Give them back to him and say, God, you said. You said these things. And I'm just giving it back to you. So thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your journey. I'm going to leave these words of wisdom with everyone. Cancer is not a death sentence, but an awakening to live your best life. Join me next Monday right here at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.